No. No, 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 no.
Ow.
What the hell was that?
Dinner
Hello?
plate.
What?
Huh?
Is there what? Oh, son of a bitch. What the? Ugh, I hate when it does that. Ay, chivavas. Sir, please make sure that all of your computer noises are muted. Huh? That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Zelis is currently nuking his food. Have no fear. We'll do a sound check by me and no one else. For I am the awesomeness. Ha ha! For sure. Rose! Oh, that's my lord.
Go.
Ah, good. With a minute and 20 seconds remaining.
Plenty of time and doofy time.
Who is this person you're speaking about? I know not a Giovanni. I know a Zelios.
Do we know anything, sir?
I don't know. Sir, please get your stirring done. We have very important things to talk about.
No more starting. The stirring frenzy is done.
Eureka.
Until next time.
Oh, okay. You ready for this?
Are we supposed to be doing this? Because I'm always ready for this, even if I don't know what this is thising.
I think so.
You just fell 8 o'clock, everybody. Let's do this, huh? Yeah.
Christ almighty, child. Yes, I just called Zelius a child. Because that's what he is, damn it. Okay, here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, the show is about to start.
Get comfy, because here we go. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Just Yelter Confusion Thursday Night Hangout.
Do you know why it's such a beautiful Thursday night here in our respective houses?
Because we're here online.
Because I have
Live.
hot chocolate.
That too. And I've got my Mountain Dew.
We both love the sugary goodness. of our
Indeed.
lives.
Ladies and gentlemen, I, of course, am your host, Charlie, and I'm joined once again by the prolific cover himself, Zelius. This is the Thursday Night Hangout. It is a weekly live show where we try our best to cover the topics that are most important to you during the show. If you haven't had a chance to add your topic or question, by all means, drop it in the chat and we'll try to incorporate it in the show. If we do run out of time, have no fear, we will add it to the next show. So bring it on. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get down to brass tacks. All right, the first story, and it's been like an evolving one over, I guess, a week, is some of you might know of a website or service called OnlyFans.
OnlyFans?
Yes.
It's where you have fans that are like only just for you.
Well, so it's kind of like it's kind of like an alternative to Patreon, but the main thing is, really, the porn aspect is really what started OnlyFans. And then, of course, we heard the news about OnlyFans sending out an email to everyone going, yeah, we're not going to do the porn stuff anymore. So you've been warned. October 1st, you're gone.
A month from now.
So basically, you have you had a lot of people pissed because this was their livelihood, and now they're saying you got until October 1st, and then you're gone. So there was a hell of an uproar. There was a lot of rumors going around saying that a lot of sponsors, like credit card companies and stuff, they wanted to pull their support because they didn't want to support the sex industry. I don't agree with that. But so basically, here's the deal. So they finally have given down an update, and that is that they're not going to do anything. It turns out that there was 3 banks specifically that basically would not allow for the transfer of funds.
Yep.
To basically OnlyFans. So OnlyFans decided, well, if we can't get the money from these 3 banks or these 3 globally recognized banks, out of the bajillion of banks there, we can't do OnlyFans, or you can't do the sexually explicit stuff. Look, here's the deal. If you are not harming yourself, and you want to show off your body in either explicit or artistic ways, by all means, you go. Hey, if everyone should have equal opportunity to make money as long as you're not being exploited or hurt.
Well, that is the crux of what the thought of the original issue was, because the same thing happened basically with Pornhub last year.
Right, and don't forget that this was the what OnlyFans experienced for a week was the Tumblr approach.
Well, the thing what happened with Pornhub, though, is the credit card companies did, in fact, pull their support.
Yep.
Because there was basically an article that came out from Pornhub last year that was basically that there were, it was multiple credit cards, though. It's not
right, but MasterCard was like the big one, and a lot of people. The rumors about OnlyFans was that MasterCard jumped back into the game, but that was false.
And part of the rumor too, though, with OnlyFans, which has not come to light, is that there was a similarly frightening article about OnlyFans, just like Pornhub, where people were being basically sex trafficked and having things posted against their will on the website. And that was really the big part. Whereas if that rumor had come true, that was what really set off the alarm bells for the credit card companies. Because that's really what it comes down to, is if you're one of these companies like a Pornhub or a OnlyFans, the reality is if you can't get your financial transactions, you're dead in the water.
Right.
So I don't know if OnlyFans was doing it because of if it was just the finances, or because there was somebody was getting on a moral high horse behind the scenes.
No, from my understanding, it was simply because of money issues. The basically denied transfers of money, because if you're on Patreon, if you're on OnlyFans, you're on Pornhub, you're on whatever other subscription service, understand that the platform is going to take a chunk of change from every single subscription that you take.
The OnlyFans type of ones are usually 20 to 30%.
Right. So but the other thing was there was a lot of miscommunication. A lot of people thought that like nudity was going to be barred as well, because the wording was really centered around explicit acts. Now, what is explicit acts? And that's what got me in trouble. Now, here's the big thing, though. Because of all this craziness and rightfully so, it caused a hell of a panic. A lot of the people who are dependent on OnlyFans lost a ton of subscribers, because they're like, well, shit, they're leaving, so why would I, continue to pay?
It's not all too different than like any other platform. Like take, for instance, Twitch that we're on. I mean, if you're a big streamer, we've heard, when the DMCAs were all the rage, I know they're still there. But, when people are getting their stuff taken down or getting banned due to copyright claims,
right? It's
kind of the same concept where, your livelihood is in a way in the hands of a third-party platform, which you really don't have any control over. And OnlyFans is kind of the same way, where, if you're doing your content on OnlyFans and all of a sudden it gets revoked, what recourse do you really have, other than to really find another platform?
Right, but and what a lot of people out there who use OnlyFans or any of the other services, they're like, diversify. You can't, because the landscape is changing every single moment of every single day. You need to have, what's up, Nakamoto? You need to have multiple ways of continuing your income stream. And hopefully, if you have people that are only on, if you only have people that are on OnlyFans, and it were to, go the way of Tumblr, you could get them to go over to another service as long as the service allows for that kind of content, which is
even
a problem.
outside helps confusion. Like we're on, we have Discord, we have YouTube that we posted on.
Right.
Obviously, we're here on Twitch, so we also. I think that is prudent. If you're, I would consider OnlyFans. You're really the equivalent of the independent business owner. It does seem financially prudent to post in multiple different locations.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, really for video games, I don't know how much makes sense to post outside of Twitch because there's just not a whole lot of. I mean, yes, if you're a bigger streamer, I get it. You can probably help, but most of them, it's really Twitch is where you're going to find that money. But there are quite a few. I don't remember what article it was, but I saw where there's like the 10 other alternatives to basically OnlyFans. So there are definitely alternatives to the OnlyFans, with a number of them being quite clear that, like, hey, we will never ban sexually explicit content on this specific OnlyFans equivalent.
Here's a funny story. Don't believe them, because look. You have a bunch. Companies are going to say whatever the hell they need to say in order to get content that will be subscribed to or paid for, and they get a cut of that money. And once they build up enough, who's to say they don't change the rules? I mean,
yeah. I mean, that's the Tumblr way, right? I mean, but I think you also, and you gotta wonder, like with something like OnlyFans, it's sometimes when you're at the top, there's a bit of an echo chamber, right?
Right.
Where maybe you don't quite realize, honestly, like how big of a deal would it be if they had basically eliminated porn off of OnlyFans? And maybe it did take the great wake up call of the internet to be like, oh wait, this really would have killed OnlyFans.
To be honest, I don't think it would have completely killed OnlyFans. I think that forcing the individuals who have OnlyFans that have a legitimate basically revenue stream, and pushing them to try to find an alternative. Yes, there are alternatives out there that are safe, and you can build your brand on it. Once again, you never know if it's going to go away in the future, but everyone deserves protection and security. So no matter what you do, like I said, as long as you're not being exploited or hurt or getting hurt, then you go. I mean, if your deal is that you make your own artistic paintings in the nude, and you basically throw your body at it and utilize all your body parts to paint, more power to you. I mean,
think it sounds like a new calling for Charlie. I think you're onto something here.
Dear God, no.
Only confusions.
It would be confusing now, wouldn't it? But speaking of Charlie's art, I do want to point out that
no, please stop talking. No, I want to hear more about you.
This entire box, well, I'll just show you. These are all note cards. These are my brain doodles, and I'm up to number 227. So if you'd like a brain doodle from Charlie, hit me up, and I'll see what I can do. All right.
Maybe you should start an OnlyFans of your brain doodles.
Brain doodles. No, I don't think so. I mean, yes, there is. I think OnlyFans was. I think one of the issues is that OnlyFans is synonymous with like nudity and sex.
Oh yeah,
NFT.
It definitely is.
Okay, so here's the thing, Nakamoto. I need to figure out what the. I understand. Yes, NFT. It's the late. I can't. I don't know. It's so weird. The concept is so weird, and it makes me feel so old. But yeah. Now. Okay, so.
So you want to talk of old? So we had a chat today about internet safety for people, students, and they kept on referencing Facebook. And we're like, would you realize that kids don't use Facebook, right?
Snapchat and TikTok and whatever other fancy things are out there.
But that's kind of part of it. It's, keeping with the trend, kind of like, the alternatives to OnlyFans. It's like, we know OnlyFans because it's a big name, but there's other ones. kind of like, for people of our generation, Facebook is the big name.
Yep.
But there's the other ones like TikTok and Snapchat hurt my brain, but that's what the kids use. And that's just the reality. And there's probably the same thing with OnlyFans. So there are other new ones that all the kids are using that I don't know about and don't probably plan on knowing about, if I'm going to be honest.
Okay, so Nakamoto says you already get it, you just don't know it. It's like what those collectibles behind you. Okay, so my
Don't encourage him, Nakamoto. Don't encourage him.
My Funko Pop collection, which is over 280 now. Yeah, the thing is, it's a digital collection, and I just don't understand. Like the NBA or certain teams in the NBA are doing it, and it like gives you the rights to that little whatever. I don't know. I'll have to research it more. Anyways, on the topic of nudity, let's talk about the fact, and this is just a head scratcher. This
Confusion goes nude? What?
No, God, no. You do not want. Look, you think that I'm pale right now. I've turned down the brightness on my camera as much as possible, and I'm still like ghosting. If I were to take off my shirt, you'd be blinded.
Ultra Confusion goes wild at Dragon Con. We could be entrances in the parade. What do you think?
No.
Just saying.
Nope. But anyways, speaking of nudity, an interesting story came out just recently, and it makes me scratch my head because this guy. Okay, so I'm assuming that the vast majority of people out there may have heard of a band called Nirvana.
Yes.
And one of their most popular albums happened to have a baby in a swimming pool.
Oh, yes.
Nude. And so they're like, it's child pornography. And so the guy who is now the grown-up version of that baby is suing for $150,000 because it's child pornography and he was exploited.
Okay, so here's what's kind of funny, right?
Yeah.
I was at this internet, safety training thing, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the conversations that came up was basically make sure that your kids, and it's good advice, don't get me wrong. Let's talk about like kids should not be posting identical information about themselves on the internet. Totally makes sense. Totally get it.
Right.
But the irony to me of that statement, because we're all talking to adults in the room, who's posting the identical information on the internet?
The adults.
Yes, it's the parents posting like, look at little Susie in her bathing suit at the pool, hashtag name of subdivision.
Yeah.
Like most of the time, and I guess my point on this one is I'm guessing, I didn't actually see the story. I would think that probably the parents probably signed the rights or did something along those lines.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that they got some sort of compensation for a picture of their baby in a swimming pool.
But that's what's funny to me is like, basically all these kids, I mean, I'm not calling somebody out as being a bad thing,
right.
But the reality is all these parents are posting all these pictures of their kids basically without their permission. And yet we're sitting here telling kids basically not to do the same thing.
Right. Well, the thing that's really funny, real quick, is that that the parents are more likely to actually give the location of their kids away than the kids themselves, because the kids are starting to understand, I should probably not say my family is on vacation. No one's at the house, which the parents do. They're like, look, the whole family's on vacation. Everyone's going, okay, so you live where now? Oh, okay.
Yep. I can believe it. It's kind of there's definitely a little bit of irony in there.
Yes. Okay. So I think it's just stupid. I hope this lawsuit gets thrown out because seriously, when the hell did that album come out? It was like the 90s. So
early 90s. Yeah.
Yeah. This guy must have done something stupid and is out of money and he wants to sue. That's he wants quick cash. Huh?
1991.
Okay, so this dude, that's what, 30 years ago? Take a chill pill, man. Just take a damn chill pill.
Oh, damn it. That's depressing.
We're not going to go in it. Anyways, okay, so
technically it's still only 29 years.
Whatever. Okay, so we have that weird thing. And then we also have we talked about, all these different platforms that you stream or you have services on. And we mentioned Twitch, which of course we're currently streaming on Twitch. And we know that Twitch has a weird ass history when it comes to banning users, some for unknown reasons and others um, for basically people flagging the channel and them getting enough basically flags that they get suspended for a good chunk of time, and there's no appeal process. Now, of course, from my understanding, I don't know if that appeal process is completely in there, but you have the ability to kind of go, I think that someone was just trolling. But Twitch, as you may remember, permabanned a very big name that was on the platform. And that, of course, was Dr. Disrespect. And there was never a reason that was made public. Was it Dr. Misrespect or is it Mr. Disrespect? Yeah, Dr. Disrespect.
Dr. Disrespect.
Yeah, it's Dr. Disrespect.
Yeah.
And he's basically gone on record saying, I don't know what the hell's going on. And then he made the switch over to YouTube. Now, he is still, he's exclusively on YouTube. But, of course, he's not making the numbers that he was making on Twitch. And also, when he got permabanned from Twitch, he lost a bunch of sponsors. So that also, cut it to the bottom line. Now, the news has just come out that Dr. Disrespect is, and I quote, going to sue the fuck out of Twitch for the bullshit that they did to permanently ban him. Now, he's still not going into the details, but it looks like Twitch is going to have a fight on their hands.
It'd be interesting to see because, you basically have two routes, right? Either you settle and we don't really ever find out what happens, or if you do go to court, it's kind of like, does he really want the reason that he was banned to come out into light?
Well, I think if he's going, it's bullshit, then I think he wants the reason to come out of light, and legally he can't say anything because it's going to court.
I think you have more faith in his intelligence than I do.
The guy's a smart guy. He had apparently, of course, like I said, he lost a lot of sponsorships. And that's what tends to happen if you get permabanned from a platform. But I'm assuming that he's going to sue for wrongful
termination.
Yeah, wrongful termination and loss, not wages, but lost profit.
But I guess the question really comes down to is, does Twitch have any actual responsibility to allow us to be on their platform? Do they? Really? Why does Twitch?
They're the gatekeeper. They can control when or if or how you get on the platform.
I know, but yes, but do they have a responsibility to basically allow anybody onto the platform unless they have a valid excuse to ban them? I guess is the real question.
Yes.
Why? They're private or publicly held company. Doesn't really matter to me. But why?
Because they make money off of the ads that run on every single stream.
Anybody in America for any reason. How is this any different?
Because the more people you have streaming on the platform, the more money they make. So why would they want to? That's why they care. It's because they like green. They want as many people as possible.
Dr. Disrespect or Twitch? When you say they,
Twitch.
Yeah, Twitch does, but if they had I agree that to them it makes sense to have anybody on there to make the money, but from a legal perspective, why do they have to actually allow anybody onto their platform? What legal duty are they under to actually permit anybody onto their platform?
Because they make money.
not sure that actually answers the question.
But look, here's the thing. If you want traffic on your site, if you're your website or whatever.
Yeah.
So do they have the ability, do they care if people go to their site? Well, hell yeah, they do, because it makes, if the more people, the more money they make. Are they responsible for the content and the streamers that are on there? Yes, because they're a company, they like money. They don't want to get in trouble, which, by the way, Twitch has also come down and says no more like gambling slots type of content, because
man,
yeah,
there go my Friday nights.
oh good lord. But anyways, so we'll see what comes of it. I'll be very interested to see. I'm going to make the assumption that Twitch is going to settle out, and Dr. Disrespect is going to have to sign a NDA as to why.
Yeah, 'cause I feel like even if Twitch was total, I don't know, obviously, but even if they feel like they're totally in the right, they probably don't want their secret algorithm sauce, whatever it is, coming to light. Kind of like Google, they've always had pressure on like, what is your algorithm? And they don't want that coming out.
Right.
Or,
well, it's like, what's the formula? What's the secret formula for Coke? They don't want. I mean, it is.
What are the magic ingredients for your not Chick-fil-A, the other chicken?
Zaxby sauce.
No, the big chicken, KFC.
Yeah. Oh, they're
herbs. It's like 8 secret herbs or something.
Right. No, exactly. They're going to want to keep as much of their, their metrics, their algorithms, and also keep. Here's the thing. If they actually go to court, this is my opinion. Of course, I do not have a law degree. I've never studied, I've never studied years of law, but this would be, if I was Twitch.
But by God, we have the internet armrest doctorate of lawyership.
Yeah, I could take an educated guess because I'm an educated man.
I read more than lawyers, don't you know?
Okay, so here's, if I was Twitch, I would settle out of court, because I would be fearful that by going into court, the results could cause a restructuring of the EULA, end user license agreement, or basically the codes of conduct or whatever, and they're going to have to. They're not going to be allowed to have such vague verbiage where they have wiggle room to ban people if they think are getting too close. I think that, once it comes to light, I think that a lot of people I would be fearful that more people who've had bans in the past would then come out of the woodworks going, whoa, 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 whoa. No. That's not how that should be, and I shouldn't have been banned for that if it's this interpretation.
Yep. I'm of the opinion that really, Twitch is under no obligation to host any content creator on Twitch. So really, they can ban anybody for any reason they want or no reason that they want. Just like my employer could fire me tomorrow, and sucks to be me.
But I think the problem is that if they were to start going, nah, we don't want you on the site, you would probably see an exodus happen.
Well, I mean, obviously, it's not in Twitch's best interest.
Right, totally absolutely, yeah.
I know this.
And that's why I kept going back to the money.
Can we get our mixer back going, guys?
Oh, Jesus. So.
I mean, it would be nice to have competition in the streaming realm.
I mean, technically, Facebook and YouTube, but they don't have the reach of Twitch. However, apparently Mark Zuckerberg, the mastermind behind Facebook, has come out with a new virtual awesomeness that will be revolutionary in the future, and it's a VR meeting application where you get to choose your avatar, and you're going to sit in a boardroom or whatever, and you're going to be able to host the meeting through the entire thing. I'm like,
So it's like a worse version of Zoom, is what you're saying.
bingo.
That's exactly what everyone wants.
It's a worse version of Zoom or Blue Jeans or WebEx or whatever the hell you use out there, and everyone's going to be an avatar in first person, sitting
Sounds
around a
absolutely miserable.
yeah,
Actually, no. This is actually their secret plan to get all these work from home people back into the office. Because
exactly.
when
Yeah,
they
that's true.
present this idea, it's like, oh hell no, I'm going back in the office.
It's like I don't want to do that. And well, okay, so to me personally, this is opening on the flood. That would open up the floodgates for people to just screw with you and have like the most detestable avatars there.
No,
It'd be like having the avatars from Second Life sitting around the table.
no, it's gonna be HR approved bland avatars. You can have a gray shirt or a red shirt. You can have HR approved khakis. You have to go past your ankles. We ain't gonna see any skin, and everything's gotta be on the up and up. It's gonna be a VR helmet, so we're gonna know if you're actually sitting in your office approved chair and not your couch, like
Oh,
we know
Christ.
you all do, anyways. So HR is gonna love this.
No. Anyway, that's just I'm like, oh, for God's sakes, people.
I mean, that was the original rumor of basically why Facebook bought Oculus, was really to move VR not into gaming, but to
Oh yeah, absolutely, into the social media platform.
Yeah, that was the whole original. But you have a problem where basically we're the generation who still uses Facebook, and the young kids don't give a crap about Facebook.
Well,
so
it would be. It's basically Sony Home, which was a failed experiment on the PlayStation 3. And they're just like, nah, everyone's going to forget about that. But we'll not. It's not going to be about gaming. It's going to be, more of a corporate tool that people could use. No, they're not going to use it.
You know what's kind of funny is like the last generation of consoles, like the PS4 and the Xbox One.
Yep.
Like VR was supposed to be like the killer feature on those consoles. And now you have the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, which should actually be able to do VR5, and yet you basically don't hear much about it.
Exactly. They're not highlighting it at all.
And now it's like, now we have the console that can run it. Meh, whatever.
VR's just okay, here's the thing. If you have a third-party peripheral that is not required for your PC or your console, and it is over it's almost the same price as a console, there's not going to be a lot of people jumping on board and supporting that.
It's a niche product. I mean, VR is still, 3-4 years ago, it was supposed to be all the rage.
Yep.
And it really just kind of petered into being that niche product at the moment. Yeah, it's just, yeah. I always think of, what's his name? Bobby, the guy at the convention who's like a VR developer or tester because he has all the stuff.
Bobby Black Wolf, he did all the, I think he's got almost every single VR helmet, and it's not like he went out and bought them. From my understanding, they were provided to him because he has stereo vision, which that's
what it is.
Which means that he sees things in 2D, not 3D.
I knew he had a good reason.
But a VR headset will allow him to see things in 3D,
which is pretty cool. I know they're actually really used a lot in hospitals for surgeries and stuff, which actually makes sense. That's a logical place to use it. Yeah, I think, we're still sitting there. The reality is people like sitting their lazy asses on a couch or a recliner and not standing to play their video games.
Look, I'm still waiting for Oasis, okay?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Which, by the way, for those out there who don't know, you need to freaking read the book Ready Player One, and then you'll understand.
26 years from now, when, in theory, we can retire, that's when it needs to come out. So we can just literally slip right into retirement. In
theory, we can retire. We're never gonna be able to retire.
Well, I don't care. I can dream, okay?
Okay, fine. Okay, so changing gears yet again.
First gear, second gear, third gear, fifth gear?
I've never actually driven a manual, so I couldn't freaking tell you at all. But what I can tell you is that there is let's have some happy news, okay? So there once upon a time was a company called Studio 38, and it was founded by a pitcher who got really famous because of a bloody sock, and he loved video games, but he apparently sucked balls at finances and running a company, and took out a huge ass loan.
But you know what he was good at? Throwing balls.
Yeah, curveballs. I don't know if he actually threw curveballs, but
He was a fastball pitcher.
yeah, Kurt Schilling was a great pitcher, not a very good businessman. But okay,
Not
so
a really good person in general.
yeah, so the good news is that the only game that came out for Studio 38 was a game that was released in 2012 called Kingdom of Amalur: Reckoning. And they basically they had to close because they had over $150 million owned to apparently 1,000 creditors. And so basically in the year 2021, the 400 employees that were affected by this closure are finally getting their final paycheck.
Wow.
For the work they did on Kingdoms of Amalur.
Man, that was a fun RPG though. That's the thing. Like, that's why. Like, yes, Kurt Schilling was a dipwad when it came to the that business aspect of it. From an actual gameplay perspective, it's a great game.
Absolutely, but I do want to point out that there is a downside to this, and it is that they're probably not going to be able to get the full amount paid. From what I'm reading, it looks like they will get some money, but they're not going to get they're not even going to get 40%. So
it's kind of like bankruptcy when your creditors get a percentage of what in theory would be owed to you.
Exactly. Now, so here, at least they're getting some money. I mean, I would love if you basically put your blood, sweat, and tears into a project that you're supposed to be paid for. You should get all the money that you were promised. And, was that 9 years? And 9 years after the fact of not getting your final paycheck, you're getting some money, but you're not going to get all of it, or even half of it, maybe close to a quarter of it or less. That still hurts.
Christmas bonus.
Hopefully those 400 individuals, are still doing okay, even though they got super dicked over. Now, speaking of getting dicked over, actually, he wasn't dicked over. There's a very good reason for what was announced was, remember, there's a company out there called Activision Blizzard.
Mm-hmm.
And for those out there who don't know, they have been sued quite a bit as of late for basically sexual misconduct, sexual harassment, unfair business practices when it comes to the hiring process. And then, of course, what every single company does, not every single company, but a lot of companies do, is the burn them and turn them policy that they're also getting in trouble with. And remember that a lot of the names that were associated, like egregiously associated with the harassment and stuff like that, were like big names in Blizzard. And there was a rumor that came out. Actually, no, it wasn't a rumor. And when all this crap hit, basically, the fallout, there were the Overwatch Pro League announcers did not. They basically dropped the name of one of the characters that may be played. So they basically say, so instead of saying their name, the character's name, they would just say the gunslinger.
McCree.
The game we're talking, the name we're talking about is McCree. Now, Blizzard has officially come out and said that later this year, McCree will no longer be in the game. The name will no longer be in the game. They are going to change the name to something else, which I'll be very interested to see what they name him. But yeah, because they named it after oh my gosh, I dropped Jesse McCree, who was like a long time Blizzard guy. He was the lead designer for Diablo 4. He's had his name put on a ton of titles. So they're trying, of course, they've got to kind of wash away that bad name, or that bad man's reference in the game. So
I have mixed feelings about that because because McCree on its own, it's a great Westerner name. Like, to me, it says McCree, and I always feel like there's a bit of a Streisand effect with this. And so for those who don't know what the Streisand effect is, basically, if you have something said about you and you sue about it, all of a sudden all these people know about it who would not have known otherwise. And the reality is that a lot of people, I would say the overwhelming majority of people, they probably had heard something about this Blizzard stuff, but they had no idea about this McCree fellow being a part of this whole saga.
Right, but I don't think that this will actually work to their benefit. I think it's going to put more spotlight. Well, why would you want it? Why did you change a name? And there's like, oh, okay.
Exactly. And it just brings highlight. And I've actually seen conflicting stories.
Mm-hmm.
So one story is, yes, it was named after the developer, Mr. McCree. But the other way I've also read it is, depending on whose story you read, is that McCree came up with it independently as a good Westerner name. They're like, oh, wait, we have a developer named McCree. That's actually kind of cool. Let's ask him if it's okay if he minds.
No, I think it was, I think when they first came out, I think Blizzard even said that it was an homage to a hard-working guy who's been with Blizzard forever. But, once again, I never worked for Blizzard, so I couldn't, officially tell you.
I get where they're coming from. They need to do something, obviously, about the storm they've done. I'm not sure this is the answer. Does it really do anything? Because it seems like it's really the high-ups that need to be basically sacked and fired, not changing the name of a character that nobody really knew was associated with the dirtbag in the first place.
No, look, there are companies that have rebranded themselves because of bad press, because let's say you're a tire company that became synonymous with your tire exploding on Ford Explorers. You go through a rebrand.
Well, in this case, though, the equivalent of that would be renaming it Hellfire instead of Blizzard.
Like, to be honest with you, I think that, this
tire company, which they are not Blizzard anymore anyway.
No, they're not. They're a shell, or like a little shattered piece of the shell. I would I'm going to put my suggestion, McGraw. Keep the Mick, but just Graw instead of Cree.
That's a compromise. Hey, look at that compromise. That's what you try to do sometimes.
We don't do that shit.
Either that, or when I think my favorite suggestion I've seen is kind of like the Washington football team, call him like that Western guy.
And look, the Cleveland Indians, they've changed their name too.
Ooh, what about calling them Eastwood?
Westwood.
You
they don't look because Clint Eastwood's kids would, maybe one of them or grandkids plays Overwatch, like, oh, granddaddy or daddy needs to get some money because they're using his name because he played a lot of Westerns. If you're going to go that route, just call him John Wayne.
I don't think anybody would be opposed to John Wayne.
No, I don't think so either. Ladies and gentlemen, I do want to take just a moment to thank and give a spotlight to the friends of the show. So let's give those amazing individuals a little love, like we do every single week. So the first one, of course, is the Indie Cluster. The Indie Cluster is an organization of independent game developers that want to gain exposure by being involved in the community. They collectively journey to popular conferences such as traveling booths to help gain attention for their games. They make partnerships in local communities to bring games to the mainstream mindset. They highlight local, unusual, and rare concepts that challenge the paradigm of the common. They also host events to teach kids and minority groups about game development to hopefully one day enter the industry themselves. If you'd like more information about Indie Cluster, go to indiecluster.com, which is INDIECLUSTER.com. Now, of course, our next thank you or shout out that we have to do is the one and only Hero Chiropractic. He has been the gentleman who set this up, Ryan Moore, has been my chiropractor for years now. I met him at MomoCon, and he's amazing. Hero Chiropractic is a unique healthcare practice set up by Ryan Moore. The company's focus to elevate a patient's experience of freedom, creative expression, and joy. They believe that everyone can be a hero and has incredible heroic potential inside themselves waiting to be unleashed. Hero Chiropractic focuses on mobile chiropractic care in the greater Atlanta area. They are committed to healing clients by creating a plan of action uniquely suited for each person. They make that plan of action as convenient and affordable as possible, and most importantly, suited to your individual needs. If you want more information, go to www.herochiropractic.com. Now, of course, the new kid on the block is the one and only Noodle Boy Media. Founded in 2015 by Andrew Tran, Noodle Boy Media, previously Whacked Kid 47 Media, is your choice for professional photo shoots and panel recordings at conventions. They pride themselves in providing a high level of professionalism, top-notch experiences, and quality services. If you want more information and to view their full list of services, check out facebook.com/noodleboymedia. And those are the thank yous, ladies and gentlemen. Now, of course, since we did the thank yous, you know what's coming up next, and that, of course, is the Ultra Confusion personal shout-outs, I guess. Yeah, we're going to highlight some Ultra Confusion stuff. How about that? So, ladies and gentlemen, the first one that we always highlight is the one and only Extra Life, which has been running for 11 years total. So guess what? Ultra Confusion is proud to say we have been fundraising for Extra Life for 10 years straight.
10 years?
That's right. We missed the first year, but we got all the rest. Extra Life is gamers doing what they do best, gaming, to help sick and injured children at their chosen Children's Miracle Network hospital. The money that we raise through Extra Life will go directly to our chosen hospital, which of course is Children's Healthcare Atlanta, as unrestricted funds. This means that the hospital decides where and how to spend the money to ensure the dollars you raise make the biggest impact in the lives of the kids they treat. So if you have the capacity to donate, please go to extra-life.org and search for Altered Confusion. Now, I do want to point this out. If you do not have the capacity to donate, but you do want to be a part of Extra Life, go to extra-life.org and you can sign up today. As a single participant, or if you want to join a group, it's all there. I recommend that all gamers get your butts in gear, do Extra Life, raise money for those Children's Miracle Network hospitals that are helping cure or heal or support those children who are sick or injured or whatever. They deserve some love.
So much love.
So much love. Now, of course, ladies and gentlemen, let's do a one more shout out or one more thing, and that, of course, is Ultra Confusion has a Patreon. Ultra Confusion survives on the love and support of fans like you. And so we have a Patreon page. Patreon lets You, the fans, supporters, lovers, haters, ghosts, skeletons, monsters, sea creatures, aliens. Did I say aliens? Probably. Gods,
We love
demigods,
aliens.
necromancers, specters, mermaids, and harpies, and whatever other kind of werewolves and vampires and mummies and robots out there to become active participants in the work we love through a monthly membership. This gives you access to exclusive content, community, and insight into our creative process. In exchange, we gain a bit more freedom to do our best work and the ability we need to build an even stronger creative career. So, currently, there are 2 different tiers. There is the $1 tier, that is $1 a month or $12 a year, which basically allows you to have early access to all the playthroughs, which I just posted the entire playthrough for Retro Machina. I highly recommend that you pick up that game, but all the patrons have access to it right now. If you're not a patron, you'll have access to it in the future. And also at that $1 a month or $12 a year tier, you also gain the ability to take part in members-only posts that may include polls or information that's not available to the public. Now, of course, the second tier is a $5 tier, and that, of course, is $5 a month or $60 a year. And what that will get you is the stuff at the $1 level, but also your organization or name will be added to our section of our thank you section, friends of the show, of every single Thursday night hangout. So Noodle Boy and Indie Cluster and, anyone who's at that $5 tier will be added to the thank you section. Now, I will skip the last one because unless Zelius really wants me to do it.
Next week.
Okay, next week. I'll give you the mailing information next week. All right, so now back into the news. Zelius, exciting news! Even though that New World, the MMO from Amazon, has yet again been delayed for the full release, open beta will begin in September.
I may have to check it out. I mean, I did enjoy when I played the PC. I mean, I played the closed beta 6 months ago, probably.
Mm-hmm.
And I dug it. I thought it was good. There was there was a lot of different things to do.
Actually, the closed beta was held back in July. Back in July. Yep.
Was it July? I don't see longer than that.
Well, there was also it was July.
Or no, I played the alpha,
which was April 2020.
There we go. I don't know. It was a while ago. Regardless, I enjoyed playing it. The crafting was good. My problem with a lot of MMOs, it feels like crafting is like a side thing. It's not an immersive part of the game you play. It's like you go, you fight, you do dungeons. Oh, and then there's just crafting to do on the side if you feel like it.
Right.
Whereas with New World, I felt like it was you have to basically craft or like you're not going to have items. Mm-hmm. And so that's what I thought was interesting is it seemed like a much more integrated part of the game than other games. And that's why a lot of games I never craft because why do I need to craft my Excalibur sword when I could get the Excalibur sword of +2 just by doing the same dungeon with the less time of crafting it. Mm-hmm. Versus New World, it seems like I like that. And I found the combat interesting. I liked it. It was kind of what most newer MMOs are, where it's not tab target with, the global cooldowns and everything. It's more the action combat style. Although I know combat has undergone numerous changes in New World over the years. So good chance it's not going to look anything like it did when I played it, which is okay.
Hopefully it continues to improve.
Yes, we certainly hope it continues to improve. So yeah, it's definitely a game, especially if the thing I didn't see is the open beta only for those who have paid for the game? Because a lot of them are. It's almost like a early access, or can anyone play the open beta?
Let's see here.
That's a big, because if it's the open beta, I will definitely check it out to see if it's something I want to buy or not.
They just said there's going to be an open beta that'll run September 9th through the 12th. So it's going to be over a weekend.
I mean, usually open beta is open to anyone.
Everybody.
Right?
Yeah.
That's how I read that.
Yep.
So if that is the case, I will definitely. Wait, September 9th. Okay, that's the weekend after Labor Day. I think. I don't know. Whatever.
I can't. I don't know.
I can't keep my weekdays straight.
It's at some point.
So yeah, I'll definitely be checking it out and see what it's all about.
Good. I do want to do a shout out real quick and congratulate, of course, now I can't find the thing here. 1 second here. I wanted to congratulate one of the developers that I interviewed at MomoCon a couple of years ago, but of course I can't find the freaking interview now, which I apologize profusely for. Where the hell is that interview?
Did you lose what you're looking for, sir?
Yeah, I did.
How dare you?
Yeah. Let me see if I'm going to try to pull it up real quick here. I know that was released on Steam, so. Oh man, I. What? It just released like recently, but now of course I can't find it. Anyways, man, that pisses me off. I'll have to find it after the show, but shout out to. I wish I knew the damn company, and this is going to piss me off. Hold on 1 second. While I'm trying to desperately find this stuff, I do want to... This is both good and bad news, because we never want to hear about someone being murdered, but the end of the amazing voice actress who voiced Cortana and Mercy in Overwatch, her killer has been arrested, which is awesome. I mean, it thoroughly pisses me off that someone killed. No one should ever kill another person.
Yeah.
But it is nice that this person potentially will get his comeuppance.
Yep, pretty much sucks all around.
Now, we talked about bans and not going into details on Twitch, and apparently one of the more controversial YouTubers has received a ban, and they, of course, are scratching their head, like most people, because they're like, I don't understand. I'm doing the same stuff as the majority of the streamers on there, and that, of course, is Belle Delphine, who is a very unique individual who has sold little canisters of her bath water. That's why I pulled it up wrong. Okay, so I do want back in MomoCon 2018, I had the amazing opportunity to interview a gentleman by the name of Ian Beckman, who is the director of a game called Cosmos Quickstop. And it's basically it's kind of like Diner Dashes. I'll read you the exact blurb that they have on Steam. And that, of course, is Cosmos Quickstop simulates the fast-paced thrill of managing a gas station in space. Upgrade your services, please, alien customers, and complete your daily chores through simple minigames that add up to a hilariously frantic experience with solo or couch co-op play.
Hey, it's that co-op play. Doesn't mean you're going to play it.
I don't know. I'll think about it. But so congratulations to Big Sur Games for their release. They released it back on August 18th, so that was a week ago. So that was 3-ish years ago. So congratulations on finally getting your game. As some people may know, or or not know, a lot of the games that get announced or are in development, not a lot of games actually, see get to the end. Okay, there's a lot of developers out there who have amazing games, but they never get completed. Case in point, the exact same Momocon, Epic Tavern has been forever in beta, and I don't think it's ever going to be done. To be honest with you, I don't think it's ever going to be done. I think that they've probably moved on to another project.
No. Is it kind of like Star Citizen? Is that a finished game? Is it ever going to be a finished game?
Oh Christ! I don't want to talk about Star Citizen because that is such.
Is it a game?
I don't know. Yes, no, maybe so. Who the hell knows? I don't know. Also, that same year, Momocon, I did get to sit in on the Warren Spector interview, and of course, I asked him the hardball question, which he immediately said, "You're trying to get me in trouble, aren't you?" Which was my highlight of Momocon. Anyways, so congratulations to that developer or development team. Now,
apparently, they still have Star Citizen still has a pledge for $1,100 available.
Christ almighty.
Just for you.
Okay, so here's the funny thing. Okay, so I bought into this bullshit. They had it on Kickstarter, and then they decided to take it off Kickstarter because they knew it was going to take a shit ton of time to actually get it out the door. And they made a shit ton of money, and then they made pods for the company. One was in charge of the lore, one was in charge of planets, one was in charge of combat, one was in charge of whatever. And so, it's perpetually being developed. So I, of course, forgot that I actually had pledged $125 to it. And so I figured I did the homework. I found out that I did indeed pledge $125, and I got my account all squared away, and I jumped into the game. And for whatever reason, every single time I play that game, even if I put it on the lowest settings, it chugs like a motherfucker. I can't play it. It's unplayable for me. And it's not like it's not like I have a really old machine.
Did you know that Star Citizen is also free to play until tomorrow?
Sure. Why not? Yeah. But Zelius, have you checked out, have you been playing any cool games?
I've got back into playing again is Last Epoch. It's a action RPG on the PC. And just like many of our other lovely games we've been talking about, who knows if they'll ever actually be finished. Mm-hmm. It's one of those I can come back and play every once in a while, try a different class. Because each of the 5 different classes has their own subclass. And so you can go back and replay it. Different subclasses, obviously very different game styles. So for instance, you might have a shaman who is either going to be the shaman character. So
shaman, damn it, shaman. I was going to let you get away with it once, but you kept coming back to it. It's shaman.
Or it could be a beastmaster, who's the master of obviously like a saber and a raptor and different animals. So 2 very different game styles, the same base class. So it's a cool game. I like it. But it's they've been promising online play forever, which still is not there.
The regular release is supposed to be in 2022.
Yeah.
And they've had they posted their alpha and early access back in 2018. Yeah, and apparently they put it on the Steam store April 30th, 2019.
Yeah. I think I started playing it probably first time was a number of months ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I just every once in a while log back in, get the thrills for kills, get some Zergen going, and enjoy some gameplay.
So, this past Tuesday, I usually stream on Sundays and Tuesdays. I did not stream this past Sunday because I don't think I was home at the time. But this past Tuesday, I played a new game called Tainted Grail, which is it's a card game adventure. It's like it's an RPG card game adventure game, roguelike. Actually, you know what? Let's just look at the page, and I'll tell you what all the tags they have. Dark fantasy,
another
deck
rogue.
building, story-rich roguelike. So basically, you get thrown into this place that's probably like an afterlife or some weird-ass different dimension and world. You've got lost souls all over the place, and you've start in this town. Now, once you exit the town, you cannot go back into town until you're dead. And you have to restart the entire adventure. So basically, it is the best way I could describe it is, first of all, you're going to die a lot. You're going to choose, as you play the game, you're going to unlock more classes and more cards that you use because it's a card game.
Yeah.
And you have a certain number of actions you could take per turn, and of course you try to kill the bad guys. And there's a ton of different bad guys, and then there's bosses in different areas. And like I said, as you play through the game, you're going to open up more classes. You start off with kind of like an average, like sword wielding class. So
the classic sword and shield.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know, like it's I've put in, how many hours have I put in? I put in 9 hours. Okay. So I've put in a good chunk of time. But I can't I don't know. Like I just I don't know. Like I mean, I must have died, I don't know, 20 something times. And I finally beat the first of the four original, or the four currently known bosses.
Okay.
One of the components that you have to take into consideration is that when you go outside the town, there's this weird like miasma, weird ass like smoke stuff that you need a special candle for, and you have you have a very limited supply of those candles. Once the candles go out, bad stuff will happen to you. So you can't explore forever, but you also have like these side quests, such as find the villagers, because when you start the game, you're basically in a town with one stranger who will send you on your first quest, which is you have to kill the stone golem. And I will tell you this right now, it took me at least probably 18 tries before I could kill the stone golem.
And that's your first task?
Yeah, it's your first one out of the 3 other guys.
Nice.
But of course, during that time, I unlocked a bunch of different classes, but I didn't want to change classes because every single class has like totally different cards.
Yep.
And styles of play. But anyways, while you're out there, you got to find the villagers. And of course, you're not going to be, unless you're extremely lucky and you just like, run the table and are able to beat all the bosses, you're not going to be able to get all of the villagers in a single run. Actually, once you beat the boss, you're allowed to return to town.
Ah, nice.
But I just don't know. I really don't know. Like, it has potential, but at the same time, there's moments where I'm like, this is bullshit.
Yep.
I'm still going to play it some more, but I don't know.
That's how I feel about a lot of roguelikes, to be honest, is I find so many roguelikes use either the random card draw or the dice roll. And honestly, like, I feel more frustration over, what did I draw basically for my version of mana to cast what I'm trying to do. And it really just annoys me more than anything else. And that seems to be like the flavor of most roguelikes, is some variation thereof. That's why I like playing Hades. Is like it was an action roguelike that I enjoyed.
Mhm.
But when it came to like all the roguelikes it seems like I played recently, is they're all that card drawing mana type of roguelike where it's a large part of it is based off of RNG. And that just is not in like rogue RNG is not incredibly enjoyable to me from a gameplay loop perspective.
I understand. I mean, I could see that. I mean, look,
obviously people enjoy it because they're making them left and right. So there's obviously an audience for it.
well, the thing is, a roguelike gives you instant replayability. Okay? Because you're going to have to play it over and over and over again to continue to advance, to unlock new stuff, to unlock new passive skills, new classes, all that stuff. I mean, that's new weapons, etc. Because there's also runes that you could pick up, and when you have 3 runes, you can combine them and make them stronger. The runes you can add to your armor, but you got to go through the game. And one of the bonuses you could get from certain areas is you can open up an additional slot. I think there's like 3, a maximum of 3 slots on your weapon, and then I think 4 for your armor.
Yeah.
But you only start with 1 on each, and then you have passive skills that could add effects to your enemies. If you make them vulnerable, then they immediately get stunned, or there's a passive effect that allows you to gain 25% of your life for every single time you win a battle, which is key. Holy crap. Because there's not a whole lot. I went through my health potions like that every single time. It was bullshit. I do want to point out that the previous early access playthrough was for a game called The Beast Inside. It has gone. It's been switched over to public onto YouTube, so anyone and everyone could look at it. But usually, and this is the case once again, is once I turn a playthrough over to public, I then immediately release the review of it, and so that review is up as well.
Nice.
Indeed, sir. Indeed. And like I said, Retro Machina is the new early access playthrough. And I will tell you this right now. I spent 10 hours in the game, or almost 10 hours, and it's a good game. It's a really good game. You're a robot. You could control another robot to help you solve puzzles or to defeat the bad guys. It's an interesting story. You're a robot that malfunctions on an assembly line, and because of that malfunction, kind of becomes self-aware, and then you go on a journey or adventure. You have to explore 3 different worlds, and those worlds are pretty in depth. I mean, there's a lot to do in every single world. Like I said, I played.
Malfunction.
Huh?
That's one hell of a malfunction.
Well, you gain sentience.
That's not a malfunction. That's like a power up, man.
You have to play the game. I'm not going to give anything away about the story, but it's good. And some of those boss battles are intense, really freaking intense. It took me several times to beat the first and the final boss, and for some reason I just was super duper lucky. I was able to beat the second boss on the first try.
Was that because of luck, or did you get the mad skill?
Luck. Absolute luck.
Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, right?
Absolutely. All right, so before we close, I want to. I've been saying this every single week for a while, ladies and gentlemen. If you have not been vaccinated, please get vaccinated. There's way too many cases of individuals being hospitalized because they're not vaccinated, and hospitals are at full capacity. I just found out last night my grandfather has tested positive for COVID. He's in a nursing home.
Damn.
He is being isolated for the next 10 days. So hopefully, he comes out of it okay. The older an individual is, the greater the catastrophe can be. But that's not always the case. There are individuals who have had COVID and have passed away who are younger than myself and Zelius, or about the same age, which we will not say what our age is. But if we were like, wow, Nirvana was back 30 years ago.
21, because we're drinking.
Yeah. But anyways, please get vaccine. And even if you get the vaccine, they've announced that they're going to do a third round of the vaccine. It's going to be a booster. I believe it's going to be available in like October or November. So if you've already been vaccinated, get the booster. And use common sense when you're out in public. Wear a freaking mask because you don't want to catch it. And, you don't, if you have an illness, doesn't have to be COVID, but if you have an illness, wearing a mask can help protect others.
I don't believe in common sense. I believe in dying.
Oh, Lord. Anyway, so, ladies and gentlemen, I believe we've reached the end of the Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. So I want to thank everyone for tuning into the Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. For myself, Charlie, and Zelius, it's been a pleasure giving you everything from our heads, our mouths, and of course, our hearts. We'll be back next Thursday. Are you going to Dragon Con? So are you going to be here next Thursday?
I wouldn't be going on Thursday.
Okay. We'll be back next Thursday for another Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout.
Remember, kids, keep on gaming in the free world.
Amen to that, brother. Thank you, Nakamoto. Thank you very much. I'm glad that you were able to enjoy the show. I should probably end the recording, but I won't end the stream. Dude, I was on a YouTube video kick today. Like I watched WWE wrestlers who tragically passed but didn't get any love. I watched like the biggest what the fuck football plays. Where are they now when it comes to like college athletes, being like ranked the first in the nation and how they've panned out. And then of course, just for shits and giggles, I decided to watch the very educational Congress hearing from back in 1984 that featured the one, the only Dee Snider from Twisted Sister, when he had to go up against the likes of Al Gore over the explicitness of lyrics and whatnot. And I love it. I absolutely love when people underestimate an individual. Dee Snider came in there with like skin tight jeans, snakeskin boots, a studded belt, a ratty t-shirt, a faded jean vest. He had his hair poofed. He had a little bit of eye makeup still visible under his sunglasses, and everyone's going, "Oh man, we're going to crucify him." And just before he sits down, he grabs this piece of paper, this like folded piece of paper from his pocket. He kind of like smooths it out on the desk, and then he just goes to town. And it was one of those moments where you want to stand up and just applaud.
Yeah, he's a smart dude.
Oh, absolutely.
No doubt.
Oh yeah. And this was the same type of effect as when I can't remember what news TV channel it was, but it was one of the big ones. They had it was Tucker Carlson and some other dudes like Crossfire or something, and they invited Jon Stewart onto the show, thinking, okay, he's a comedian, he'll see some funny stuff. He wrote a book about politics. It's probably all ha 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 funny stuff. And Jon Stewart took the opportunity to take those fuckers to town. He's like, you guys have to tell the real news. Do you not understand? My show is on a comedy channel, and my show is after a bunch of puppets that make prank calls. No one's supposed to take me seriously, but I actually tell them the news. And they're like, ha ha, oh shit, we're in trouble. I love it. I love it. I love it. I still can't decide what my next game's going to be. What my next playthrough is going to be. Of course I will never do a playthrough of a roguelike game. Just thinking about that once makes me want to bash my head into the desk. So that ain't going to happen.
That makes sense. Yeah, that could be. You could play. Have you extended your car warranty lately, sir?
Oh my God, Jesus! Oh, so
you should have that like in a recurring loop, like every 2 minutes in your video game play.
So, fun personal fact: recently, it was discovered that our dishwasher wasn't completely draining.
Completely what?
Draining after it was done. There was sitting water in the bottom.
Oh,
so
nice.
I, of course, called a plumber because there was also an issue with one of the bathtubs. I called a plumber, and of course, the agency that I used, the plumber, they charge you just to show up.
Oh yeah.
And immediately, there was two guys that showed up. There was the main plumber, and then there was the assistant. The main plumber was a dick. I mean, absolute. I was like, there's standing water in the dishwasher. He goes, oh, that's appliance. We don't do that. So you got to go to appliance. He's like, but we'll look at the bathtub. I'm like, great. So they look at the bathtub, and then they're like, yeah, we can't actually get access down the thing. Let's look at the pipes. So I show them the pipes. My house is like from the 60s. So all of the pipes are cast iron. They're like, oh, we can't do anything with that. We would have to cut out this section to actually get at it. Yeah, we can't do anything. So I paid close to $100 for those fuckers to look at the top of my drain and then the drain pipe and then go, yeah, we can't do anything. So I was like, we're just have to deal with the bathtub, but for the dishwasher, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna fucking do this myself. So right here, I have the drain pump motor, and that apparently is the issue. And I just went online, I bought it. I'm gonna put that fucker in myself tomorrow. I overnight shipped it.
Nice.
But I forgot one itty bitty thing when I removed it. And that was how much water was still in the bottom of the dishwasher.
Oh, shit.
That shit came out fast. And
Did
it was
like
a lot more
leak
than I
onto the
thought.
ground?
Huh?
Did it leak onto the ground or something, or where'd it go?
Oh, yeah. I mean, the drain pump is underneath the dishwasher.
Oh, nice.
So as soon as I popped that thing off, it just started spurting water. Now, I thought, it's going to drip a little bit. So I grabbed a cookie sheet looking thing with sides on it to just, pool the water, because I couldn't put like a huge thing underneath that because it's the dishwasher. It's probably got about, I don't know, two inches of space underneath. And that fucker filled up so quick. And then it was just the water basically just started sloshing out. It went all over the floor.
Oh.
So I was busy cleaning that shit up.
Well, I now know how to change a kitchen faucet.
Well, I could tell you how to do that.
Well, I've actually done it.
Well, I could have told you before you did it. Also, the assistant plumber was phenomenal. He was from New York, so he had that New York accent. But I actually got him to look at the dishwasher before they left, and they looked under the sink because sometimes your drainage line goes. Your drainage line, the new standards, your drainage line goes into your garbage disposal. There's a little spot right there for it, and of course, ours doesn't. But anyways, when he opened up underneath the sink, he goes, "Oh my God, who the fuck did your install? He's like, this is you can't do this. And
Actually,
I was like,
funny about that. So when I moved into my condo, now that I think, like when I first moved in, I had the same issue. Where I remember whenever I use my dishwasher or my sink, I get like backwater into my garbage disposal, and I do remember that now when the plumber came out and they looked at it. Like I remember him being like, he was one of those moments where he's like, "Here's smart guy. Take a look under here. Really look, and do you see something wrong?"
mhm.
And I look at it, and I'm like, "Oh shit, there's no place for the water to go." He was like, "Yeah, whoever installed this, like, basically didn't create a way, like, literally gravity would have to be in reverse for it to have worked."
Shit.
So they got the little pipe now going to my garbage disposal, and it's fine. But it kind of the same thing where I remember I had that initially, and they fixed it. I mean, it's fine now, but yeah, I had the sitting water.
Yeah, I will have to go to Home Depot and buy a new trap for the drain. You know, it's that nice little U at the bottom
Yeah, I
to
know
trap all the nasty gases, because dipshit or numbnuts installed it sideways. So the sewer gas could come up the line.
Nice. What was wrong with your bathroom?
The bathtub doesn't drain correctly.
Well, you probably just buy a snake for that.
I did.
Probably didn't get enough.
There's it. I basically put it down 18 inches, and it came up clean.
Oof.
And then I Drano the shit out of it. I used an entire bottle of Drano at the end, because I was like, you use a fifth of the bottle, and I was like, fifth and the fifth and the fifth and the fifth and the fifth. I've used an entire fucking bottle, and it still drains slow. So
you got a
basically,
major problem in there.
huh?
You got a problem.
Right. Well, I mean, what's going to end up happening is eventually we're going to have to replace that, at least that section of pipe, and probably all the pipes in the house, because it is cast iron. But just that section, 6 feet of pipe, they were going to charge us $2,500, and I was like, no, no,
One thing I've learned is anything with plumbing is bloody expensive.
Yes.
It is. Like, I mean, like, I know people to do your. So I actually had a gas issue with my water heater,
Mhm.
and the plumber had to be the one to relight the pilot light to like pass certification. And they
Yep.
charged,
Plumber has to come in for gas.
and that was $250 just to relight the pilot light. I'm like, it's literally a big lighter that you hold into there. It's like, yep, but I gotta do it to be like certified. Boom, $250. I'm like, or
Yep.
like, yeah, it's stuff like that is so freaking expensive. Yeah, that's why I did my kitchen faucet. I'm like, yeah, I'm not paying somebody to do this.
I've replaced faucets, light fixtures, fans.
I've attached garbage disposables, but not done the wiring if it's free-form wiring.
Oh, I've done wiring. Thankfully, I grew out of the, roll the dice, and I'm sure I won't be electrocuted part of my life.
Well, again, whoever did my kitchen when I moved in,
Mhm.
so you got 3 screws that like hold in your garbage disposal.
Yep.
Well, I didn't know that there's 3 screws that held it in. And I had these 3 random screws in one of my drawers. I'm like, I always wonder what these go to, right? And then, but then, like, using my garbage disposal, I hear this thunk, thunk. And I look under there, and my garbage disposal fell out. I'm like, what the hell? It took like the whole damn thing, like the sink and everything. Not the actual sink, but like the
whole the disposal.
Yeah,
and the drain line.
Yeah, it took everything with it. I'm like, bloody hell. And then I start watching videos. I'm like, oh, the jackwagon never put the 3 screws in to actually hold it in place. So that was fun.
It'll work. Don't worry.
Live and learn. What do you do?
Yeah. All right. I need to run. I need to talk to Zelius offline real quick. But if you missed any of the Thursday Night Hangouts, understand that the video is available on YouTube at Ultra Confusion LLC. And of course, if you want to listen to the audio only version, it is in most podcast stores. It's on Pandora. I think it's on Spotify, if I remember correctly. I know it's in the iTunes podcast store. I know that it's on the Google Play podcast store. It's on Podbean and some other stuff. So if you're looking for the podcast, it's widely available. So see everybody soon.